We are now going to apply the condition with an if statement in Excel. We're going to put in an if statement that will point out the totals that exceed a certain amount, namely 700,000. Let's click on the Insert function, and if statements happen to be in the logical category, and there's the if, third one down. Take a look at the format. It says if logical test. Logical test is a condition. Value if true. What I want to go in this cell if the condition is true. Value if false. What I want to have go in this cell if it wasn't true. Now the first time you work through one of these, it's easier to use this window. It helps you through it. It's easy to miss a comma, miss a parentheses, etc. And so I recommend you use it until you get comfortable with it. But my logical test was F4 being greater than 700,000. Notice that it's starting to type it in the formula bar above. And it points out that I'm still on the logical test, and right now it's telling me on the right hand side that for this particular cell this condition is false. All kinds of hidden little things here if you read these screens. What do I want it to do if it's true? Well, if it's true, I want it to point it out with some asterisks. Take a good look at what it put in the formula bar. Look what it did. It's smart enough to know that asterisks are text, and therefore they should be enclosed in double quotes. If it's false, I don't want anything pointed out at all. If that's the case, I need to put double quote, with nothing in between. Nothing. And so it says it's going to return double quote. And this is where a lot of students get thrown the first time they put one of these. Nothing happened. Yeah, because you didn't meet the condition. If this were 732,000, then you would have seen the asterisk. Hey, it even throws experienced teachers. So, expect that. When I copy it down, sure enough, there are two of them that meet this criteria, this condition of being greater than 700,000. In Chapter 3, you're going to be doing something like this, a little bit more complicated because you'll be referencing cell addresses instead of the 3 asterisks type of thing. I'm going to delete it now because I really don't want those there. They were just for illustration only. Now, remember back in an early video I said something about the accountants would total at both directions and it was beyond the scope of this course? Well, we're going to sneak it in here. It's called cross-footing, and the way I was taught was they would check if the sum of one direction and the sum of the other direction were equal. If it's so, then it was okay. If not, then we better figure out what's going on. So I'm going to type this one out the hard way this time. Equal if the sum of B9 through E9 is not equal to the sum of F4 through F8, then let me put out the sum of F4 through F8. Otherwise, I want to put out oops. Okay? So I expect to see a total there because I think everything is correct. Oops, I forgot the missing double quote. Now see, if I had been using that the dialog box, it would have fixed it for me. Except I really didn't expect to see an oops there because I haven't manufactured the error yet. So let's go back and look at this. Okay, is the sum of, make sure I got all the numbers right, B9 through E9. Yep, that's right. the sum of F4 through F8. Yes, that's right. If they're not equal, then I want to put the sum of F4 through F8. What's the matter with this? I get it. I did it backwards. I'm saying if they're equal, put out oops. Equal being the opposite of not equal. I messed up. I changed my design in the middle of the stream. This not equal should have been an equal. So I'm asking the good condition. If they're equal, then put one of them out there. Otherwise, warn me. Much better. That was intentional, by the way. Now, under what circumstances could we get an error? Well, let's suppose that early on Santa Fe didn't have any consumer entry and the person who entered the data, instead of putting E4, put D4. Nowadays, it might catch it and put the green triangle up there warning you that there's something fishy about this formula. But in the olden days, it wouldn't have, but having this cross-footed if here would catch the fact that there was something wrong. So I'm going to copy a good formula backwards. You can do that. I can copy from bottom up if necessary, and I get it back to being the correct number. Okay, come back in a minute for another concept from Chapter 3.